Hello, welcome to my comm final. Let's get it started. Chapter 1, Instrumental Communication. So I work at a coffee shop and I've been trying to be more pragmatic with the way I relay information to the people I'm working with, just to kind of keep things moving. Chapter 2, I chose stereotypes. And as a white male, I don't have much experience dealing with negative stereotypes. But as a white male who maybe stands out a bit more on campus, seeing as I have a nose ring and I like clothes and I like to dress well. I'm kind of pigeonholed as like a hipster, or to put it in a nice way, a jerk. Um, so I always try to smile. I try to be friendlier to people, so people don't think I'm a jerk. Chapter 3, it shows defensive listening. I've had issues with one of my roommates recently. When we try to talk, I generally get defensive, or in some way I try to win the conversation. I only really listen to what she's saying so I can jump in with some sort of snarky remark. And I need to work on being less aggressive, for sure. Chapter 4, Mindfulness. Staying in the same vein, I could also be more mindful of the situation of my roommate and of the greater context of the situation of just living together. We don't necessarily argue, but I'm just kind of generally dismissive and not inclusive of her when she's around. And we don't have personalities that mesh very well, so there's a lot of friction when it comes to just, simple things. But I think if I could kind of step back from my stubbornness and just let her do her thing, we would have a lot less issues. Chapter 5, Affect Displays. I'm not the most expressive person when it comes to regular conversation, so sometimes I realize I've been scowling at my friend while we're just having a normal, friendly conversation, and I've answered simple questions really aggressively for no reason. It's not even if I'm not in a bad mood. Sometimes it just comes out like I'm about to explode on somebody. So that's something I could certainly work on. Chapter 6, Stages of Relationship Development. Development and Dissolution. So the last several relationships I've had have gone pretty much the exact same as Knapp's relational model. And it starts fine, and then we find a difference, and then we start to slow down and not talk to each other as much as we did, and then it's over. And that would be fine. That's it's a normal flow of a relationship. But each time it's me who finds the difference and ends up killing it. And I think I just want my significant other to be too similar to me, which is it's hard to find. So, chapter 7, Rigidity. I'm definitely a pretty rigid person, but since we've moved into our new place with two people I've never lived with before, I've had to gain some flexibility just to keep peace. But there are a lot of things that I just won't budge on, and it's definitely caused some issues. It's not necessary to not budge on them. So I definitely need to be less rigid. Chapter 8, I chose the whole chapter. I couldn't pin down one thing that was like that specific thing helped me. The whole chapter was really helpful when it came to preparing my speeches and getting the ideas onto the page and ultimately into the air. Chapter 9, Preparing for Effective Delivery. I think this section of Chapter 9 was really helpful in getting comfortable with the idea of giving a speech. I looked over it for the last two speeches we had, and it helped me kind of settle the nerves and give me something to do to keep me working on my speech without worrying about how it might turn out. Chapter 10, Organization Patterns for Informative Speeches. This section kind of opened my mind to a lot more patterns for organization than I knew about. And I think each one of these has their practical uses, and I think I like that it gives you sort of a formula for each one, so you know where to use it. Chapter 11, finally, the logical fallacies. So I enjoy learning the logical fallacies in a sort of way. I don't know exactly why, but I think it has something to do with the fact that I always forget that I've already learned it. So it's like I'm learning it for the first time again every time. So that's always fun. Um, but they're important to know. Logical fallacies are important to know. So if you find yourself confronted in life or in a presentation by somebody who's in opposition of whatever idea you're promoting, you can look out for these logical fallacies and know how to circumvent them, know how to combat against them. So let's get into the final stage. 11 things I love about myself. 1, I love that I can hold my own in conversations. I don't hesitate to voice my opinions or offer ideas. Number 2, I love that I think I'm funny. Whether or not anyone else laughs at a joke, the joke that I make, I know I'll laugh at it, and I think I just enjoy the fact that I enjoy myself. Number 3, I love that I smile all the time and at everything, no matter what. And it's more interesting in life when you're easily entertained, easily amused. Number 4, I love that I can be passionate about anything. If I start to get interested in something, I go all in head first, and it's helped me pick up a lot of hobbies that I might not have gotten to try otherwise. And it's helped me meet a lot of really cool people. 5, I love that I'm comfortable in any sort of clothes. I can go from like a preppy yacht club kid to like a grungy Seattle hipster to a full suit and be, equally comfortable and confident in each one. And I don't like to keep one style. I try to I mix it up a little bit, and I'm comfortable in all of them, so I really like that. 6, I love that I'm from Idaho. I think that I'm luckier than anyone else in the world based solely on the fact that I'm from Idaho. It just kind of gives you a new perspective, a different perspective on things, because, especially being from Boise, it's a capital city, it's a city, we have buildings, we have people, there's things to do, but you can go 20 miles in any direction and be in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of like a hidden gem, and I think everyone from here, anyone who's been here, kind of wants to keep it that way. 7, I love that I am affected by music so heavily. I have a severely hard time listening to a song with like a cool bass line or a funky hook, and not like expressing it somehow. That's like either like I'm like moving my hands, like hand dancing, or just like bobbing my head. I have a hard time sitting still when I'm listening to a good song. 8, I love that I can be friends with everyone. I like to think that I'm a pretty likable person, and I'm comfortable talking to anyone about anything, and it's not hard for me to talk to new people, and I think that's a good skill. 9, I love that I'm comfortable and secure in my masculinity, and enough to do things that aren't traditionally masculine. I like to dance, I have a nose ring, and I blow dry my hair almost every day, and I'm comfortable with that. I'm fine with all of that, and I think that's important to be secure enough to talk about it. 11, finally 11. I love how friendly I am. I will and do smile and wave at everybody. When I was little, my mom always waved at people, and it was just important that I do it too. And since then, it's kind of stuck with me. So if I'm walking downtown or on campus or anywhere and I make eye contact with somebody, I'm always going to smile or say hi. And I think it's important to be nice to every single person you meet, because you never know how you could change their day or vice versa. So that is my Comm 101 final exam. Thank you very much for listening. Later.